Hello, friends. If you are the Scrum Master and not getting the interview calls, then this session is for you. Friends, my name is Sunand Sharma, and you are watching Career Talk, where we share a lot of valuable content with respect to Agile Scrum. So, watch this session completely and hit like if you find value out of it. So, let's begin. Okay, so the very first thing which is happening right now is internal recruiting. Friends, internal recruiting is always good for business. The fact that the cost will be lower is extremely important for organization to recruit internally. The vacancy can be recruited by email and internal job portal, so it's pretty easy for them to, just to put out that job. So the organization already know the employee, or the information can be retrieved quickly with the help of their manager. So it's like a win-win situation for them. And finally, the training period is relatively short and can be less expensive because less training will be required. And it's easy for the organization to ask employee to get Scrum Master certificate and reimburse it later on, and move employee easily into the new role as a Scrum Master. So that's pretty thing which is happening right now. And again, the second important thing over here is that existing employees are already familiar with the internal processes and policies of the organization. So which mean that the onboarding cost is less, right? Which means they have to spend less money. And in addition to that, they are already familiar with the culture of their company, their organization, their particular program, project, right? So which make it easy for them to start a new position. So in other words, this particular candidate will have a fewer problem adapting and will need a relatively short training period. The knowledge transfer period is relatively short and no notice period, right? I mean, in India, we have seen this thing that people are having a notice period of 3 months, which is pretty huge. So they can start immediately in the same team or it's in the same program, so that's what is right now is happening. The third thing is with respect to internal recruiting is that the internal promotion, people treat it like a kind of promotion and which will help to promote their career development. So when someone is promoted internally, it boosts their confidence and encourages them to further develop their professional career. So rewarding people who have proven their value to the company also motivate other employees to increase their productivity and to improve their performance. So this is right now is happening, and this is across the board which I have seen. And the second important point is with respect to our, yes, friend, resume. So please pay attention to this important point. Even today, I receive a lot of resumes which are not appropriate, of not that great quality. So friends, if you want that I should review your resume, then in a comment box, put your email ID and I will get in touch with you. Friends, it's a fact that corporate companies, IT companies receive on an average around 800 to 1000 applications for a single job vacancy. So out of these, only 20 to 30 get selected and are called for an interview, and finally only one get the job. So those odds would not be in your favor if you submit a ready-made CV, a same CV which you just sending to everyone, right? So a common CV, no matter how well you have edited it, if you have not customized it to suit the job requirement of that particular vacancy, it wouldn't be paid much attention, believe me, friends. So if you are trying to send application quickly and not tailoring your resume, the chances are pretty less. So I mean, sending out more application is not always better. The point is to get the interviews, right? And let me ask you one question, like what's better, sending out 30 applications and getting one interview, or sending out 10 applications and getting three interviews, right? So, and again, it usually take less time than you think once you spend uh, 30 minutes learning how to do it to begin with. Then it will hardly like 5 to 10 minutes every time, you know. So, and most people just don't want to put in that particular time to understand it. And so they apply for a tons of job, but then they are getting very few interviews. So if let's say someone is looking for a Scrum Master with experience in a Scale Agile, then little bit tweak your resume, put relevant experience with respect to Scale Agile. If someone is specifically looking for one tool, for example, Rally, highlight at least like 2 to 3 lines about Rally in your resume. So one of the most basic problem in your job search is having a poor quality resume. So your resume should be sharply honed document that clearly showcase your experience, your trade, your exposure, your qualification, your achievements. So you don't have to be creative, just make it simple. No color graphics or nor confusing charts, just keep it plain and simple. And there is one more important point which I want to tell you with respect to resume, which is about the power words. Yes, friends, language matter a lot in a resume. So power words help you to show off your top achievements in the best way possible. And there are like two general rules which you have to follow. So choose resume power words that can be measured. For example, this way you can follow the power word with a tangible achievement. So for example, enhance customer satisfaction by 35% is last pi, right? And then you don't have to use a subjective word. So never use like I'm amazing at or I'm incredible at. I mean, these are not the something which people are pleased to hear from you, right? But these statements make you appear self-involved, which recruiter find it not that appealing, right? So don't tell them that you are amazing. Show them with a measurable power words. Also, a good rule to follow is not add more than one or two action verb or a power word in a sentence. There are like there are a lot of things which you can provide in a power words. In a upcoming few sessions I'm going to add more these kind of things in upcoming sessions. So for example, let's say when you when let's say you want to put that, okay, when you have gave a different approach to a solving a problem, then use these kind of words. For example, improved, streamlined, prioritize, implemented. And so when you help the company innovate or launch something new, then you can use these kind of words. For example, design, devise, determine, drafted, conceptualized, formulated. So these are the small power word which you can use, and there are many. For example, especially for Scrum Master, you can use encouraged, facilitate, fostered, inspired, supported, collaborated, enabled my team members. So these are the few power words which you can use in your resumes. Let's move on to the next point, which is everyone know about talent pool, that outline the competition you face when applying for a job. There are a lot of people nowadays with the Scrum Master on their resume with having CSM or PSM certification, and there are a lot of you know people out there. So companies might need to hire quickly, so they post a job and then hire someone through a referral or a less notice period. So this is also something which is happening right now. And then there are a lot of people who are not got certified, especially these are from like non-IT background. So if you are someone who is not from a non-IT background, it will be little difficult for you right now to get an interview calls. So you have to be patient, create your network, or on LinkedIn reach out to at least like 40 to 50 people daily. Remember, like most of the jobs are never posted on job sites, they are filled internally. So reach out to a lot of people, and then whenever the enable your alerts feature on job posting websites, so you can quickly apply to a relevant job as soon as you see them. So within a if you get an alert, do not wait for, let's say, okay, I'm going to post it on evening, I will just send my resume. Yeah, sometimes they will ask you a lot of informations, but then I think it's worthwhile if you really want to get a job. So apply to those specific jobs as and when they are posted. Do not wait till the end of the day. Okay, other thing which is happening, and I sure like most of the people are aware about, is the recession. So now what's happening? There are two important points with respect to recession. The first is lower attrition, and the other one is like decline in the new projects. So what's happening, and it's published in various forums in various news. Like, see, IT firms headed for a lower attrition on a fear of global recession. So people are not leaving their organization right now, right? So fear of global recession and spate of layoff in the startup space are expected to have a sobering effect on high attrition level in a Indian IT industry. At least for the next 2 to 3 quarter, it will be continued like that. So there are a lot of IT companies which I can quote. So for example, Infosys, whose high level of attrition had alarmed the analysts at one point time in the last quarter, and now they have reported lower attrition of 27% in just in the previous quarter compared to 28% in the June quarter. So there is a decline. Now people are not jumping, they're not switching their companies that fast, which is happening last year. And the technology job market, which had overheated in the last few quarters, has begun to cool off, and the compensation expectation of new hires are also becoming more realistic. Last year we have seen like people are getting crazy packages, which is not happening right now. So people are not leaving their current job, which result in less new jobs. So if people will not leave, then there is no new openings which are happening within the project. So that's the first thing. Other thing is like software companies in US are expected to scale down their budget by 5 to 10%, which results in a direct decline in contract with Indian IT companies such as TCS, Wipro, Infosys, and a lot of other IT companies. So the IT industry is dealing with a challenge on a multiple fold. So on the one hand, spending have gone up because of cost associated with hiring and retaining its employees, and at the same time, operating costs are rising owing to higher commodity and energy prices, and that consequently they are dealing with a lower demand as the business put a brake on its spending. So a lot of things are happening in the IT industry. So that's the one of the reason that you are not getting the interview calls. Now let's see like what we can do about it. So the very first thing is, take a look at yourself. What value do you bring to your company? What is your unique skill set? It can be helpful to write a paragraph or two about what would be happen to your company or to your team if you left, to help visualize the impact of your work. you know and another way to take stock of your asset is by updating your resume with your latest achievements, experience, and skills. So you should focus on your asset is the very first step to creating a positive mindset. uh, I mean, this is with respect to the recession, right? So, which is the key to surviving in an economic downturn. So, it is important to recognize that even if you do lose your job for whatever reason, your career is not over. And recognize your own value and knowing your abilities is a great way to get back to your feet and advocate for yourself. So, once you have taken the inventory of your current skill set and the value you are bringing to your company, work on making yourself even more indispensable. A great way to do this is through acquiring new skills. Start by looking at your peers in your organization on LinkedIn and just see like if they are doing any new skill set which you are lacking, which you can acquire. Like you want to know more about safe or less or some okay stuff and things like that. If you want to do one or two more certification, please, this is the right time you can do that. Now, what else we can do? Okay. So, see, I would personally suggest wait for next at least 1 or 2 quarters in your current organization. Do not jump until there is a big difference in your package, or maybe if you are getting some good name, then do that. And whatever the offer which you are going to accept, it should come from a big IT companies and not from any startups. So avoid startups for some time, at least for the next 1 quarter. And this is now December, so there is definitely a freeze. I mean, normally also there is a freeze in December, so you will not expect anything. Utilize this December. You may take leave for, there are a lot forceful leaves which is going to happen in December, so take like 2 to 3 weeks of leaves and learn something new. So apart from this, there are two sessions which you can see on the screen. These are like a must watch sessions for you guys. In the very first one, like Scrum Master, how to survive recession, there are like 10 real life hacks which we have shared with you so that you can increase your visibility as a Scrum Master. And the second one is about the current scenario, which we have discussed a lot about how to, as a Scrum Master, you can work in the recession time. So link of these two sessions are in the description box, and in the very first pinned comment, I have put it these link of these two sessions. Please go and watch them, and do let me know if you find some value from this session. Let me know if you want me to create more such session in the future. So yeah, that's all for today, folks, and thank you. See you in next session. Bye. All the best.